Hello, I'm Jessica Charlson, co-founder of JobShareConnect, and on behalf of the 6 other companies with female founders here that were brought together to lead this Lunch and Learn today, I just want to say how excited we all are to be here and to first thank the TheirSpace for continuing to not only provide support for working parents, but for also being a platform that really elevates what other people are doing in the community. TheirSpace plays such an important role of bringing people together, both online and in person, and really building up our community. And also we wanted to thank the StartUp Collaborative. They have been a pivotal piece in so many of our journeys. And if you have an idea for a business, it's worth taking the first step and learning more about the StartUp Collaborative, as it's a tremendous resource for entrepreneurs and also building our entrepreneurial community, which has really tremendous lasting impacts in our state. So the StartUp Collaborative reached out to this group a little after the school year started to bring together resources in the startup community that are focused on creating real solutions that can help parents navigate these crazy times. If one thing is certain right now, it's that there's no silver bullet. This pandemic has impacted every person and family differently, which is why this Lunch and Learn is so exciting and important. We're all focused on the same problem, but providing different and complementary solutions. So let's jump in. If you're on this call, it's because we're all dealing with the same problem. Either as employers or employees, we have felt the anxiety over school starting, if, when, and how it would start, bringing us to now as we're starting to fall back into some semblance of a routine. But we all know winter is coming and another wave of uncertainty is being felt by everyone. So as parents, where we feel stuck, we want businesses to be able to give their employees what they need, and they can't, we can't ignore the problem of parents and the prospect of parenting, teaching, and working at the same time. It's really unsustainable. So let's continue to look at what we're dealing with from both a business standpoint and an employer standpoint. As a business, businesses and business owners, we have to remain productive. We can't let work stop as it did this spring, and businesses are scrambling right now to make sure that their employees are still pushing forward. And while there's a lot of initial reports coming in about productivity, a lot of corporate executives, 76%, were concerned about a false read. And at the same time, employees are reporting, even if they are being productive, 38% of employees are reporting that their work and well-being has been impacted. And if this wasn't kind of scary and concerning enough, in August, we saw numbers come out that 1.1 million workers dropped out of the workforce due to childcare needs, 80% of these being women. So today we're bringing you 6 local startups that all have a different way to support and provide tangible solutions to get us through these uncertain times. So these are the 6 local startups that are offering real tangible solutions to help and support parents get through these clearly very unpredictable times. So we have Lead Kid Academy, Maxwell, JobShareConnect, TheirSpace, Here, and SwishBoom. So what we'll be doing now is each taking a couple minutes to introduce you to our companies. And we will also have some one-pagers that will be available in Slack if you'd want some more detailed notes or contact information. And then hopefully we'll still have a few minutes at the end of this presentation for Q&As. So we will start with the company I'm co-founder of, JobShareConnect. So a job share is when 2 people come together to share the role, responsibilities, hours, and compensation of a full-time position. JobShareConnect matches those individuals to fill the one full-time position, and we do everything from sourcing, matching, and onboarding, hiring and onboarding for employers. So the employers get the benefit of a flexibility option that provides continual coverage with up to 30% more productivity. And the benefit for the employees is that they're able to continue on their career path while providing the additional time and headspace they need for their family. So if you think about the state that we're in today, as a person who is passionate about their career, but wants to and needs to provide more to their more time with their family, a job share allows them to actually have both. So while job sharing has been around for decades, my co-founder Gina and I had seen and realized that it really was not a widely adopted solution. So we came to the Startup Collaborative and really worked together to build and standardize that process for both employers and employees to make it easier to adapt job sharing as a flexibility solution. And the matching is the most important part. So we take talent through a proprietary process to be able to ensure that their matches are being set up for success. And when, one of the most common questions we get are what types of jobs are good for job sharing? And what we have found is that the talent and the industries that are good for job sharing, really, it's everyone, which is a really tough answer to the question. But our talent pool contains over 25 industries, with 90% having a bachelor's, if not master's plus, and 50% have over 10 years of experience. So we have a very highly educated, motivated, diverse talent pool that is looking for better solutions to balance work and life. So if you would want to learn more about job sharing or how job sharing could impact you and your family, please go to JobShareConnect.com to learn more. And now I will pass it on to Adriana.
Well, let me unmute myself. Hello, everyone. I am Adriana Cisneros Basulto. I am not Kate White, the founder of TheirSpace, but I am lucky enough to be a partner and a friend to Kate. And I have the honor of telling you about TheirSpace today, since Kate couldn't be with us. TheirSpace provides, as you can see here on this page, homework help and interactive programming for employees' school-age kids. So really what TheirSpace does is it takes advantage of those spaces that are underutilized now at workplaces and transforms them into an environment for learning and tutoring. So those employees that are having to come into the office but have kids at home with them learning virtually can now come into the office with their kid. Their kid can go into this new space for learning and tutoring and have someone there help them with their work while they can focus on their work that they need to accomplish as an employee. So really the benefit for employers is that you increase the focus on the productivity of your parent employees by making that space available. And then for the employees, that they're able to book those blocks of tutoring time in little as a week's notice. And that's one of the things that really separates TheirSpace from some of the other solutions that exist, is the fact that it's affordable and that it's so flexible that you can book it in short notice. So TheirSpace is live here in the Omaha region. There's a couple of employers that are using it and that are seeing real value from it. This is a perfect example of a solution that was created specifically with COVID in mind and the impact that it has brought, but it's also a solution that if employers adopt and retain can have consequences even after COVID is not here with us. Because the school calendar and the school schedule really was not created in a way that is conducive for working parents. So if you think about all the breaks that exist throughout the school year, this is a really great solution to keep employees engaged. If you want to learn more about TheirSpace, you can go to theirspaceomaha.com. And like just mentioned, we will put on the chat a one-pager that you can also visit. Okay, so now I'm actually going to move on to what I'm the founder of, which is Maxwell. It's not next slide here. What Maxwell does is that it takes care of the work-life tasks through the power of AI. And really, it's a benefit platform that employers can purchase as a membership for their employees to use. We really have the ability to serve from the C-suite all the way to the front lines. We really have evolved over the past few months to become more of an umbrella benefit that employees can use as on the services that they need the most, the ones that are going to bring them the most value. Specifically, what we do is through an application, which is the image that you can see there, employees have access to the to Maxwell and all of the services that we offer. Some of our services are offered by our partners. That's where TheirSpace comes into place. For example, if an employer has TheirSpace at their work office, that's how they can book the sessions. Another one of our partners is SwishBoom, which you're going to hear about here in a little bit. And then we have some other services that are not performed through our partners, but are performed by Maxwell. Services like virtual support, errands, and other aspects like that. The benefit for employers is that you have one single benefit that can encompass a lot of different ways to support your employees, and that it gives your employees back that time to focus on the work that only they can do in time to recharge. And the benefit for employees is that it's a single hub for work-life management. It's always at their fingertips. It's very customer-centric, so it's very simple to use. It's subsidized by their employer, and it helps them outsource all of that. Ultimately, the goal here is to help, in this case, employees at large, but certainly has a disproportionate impact on working parents, particularly women. But to do it in a way that employers can see supporting employees just as important as it is to, invest in information security or invest in compliance or in automating processes, because ultimately talent is their most valuable resource. Okay, well that, you can also learn more about Maxwell at maxwell.app, and we'll put it on page here too. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Dana and Jen.
Thank you, Adriana. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us. Jen and I are so happy to be here. We're especially grateful to TheirSpace and the StartUp Collaborative and all of these amazing women founders who work so hard to bring all of these solutions to families, particularly during these challenging times. Jen and I are the founders of Here, and we provide holistic mindfulness support for parents, educators, and organizations. We work with people in both the UK and here in the US, including here in Omaha, such as the Buffett Early Childhood Fund Educare Schools and the Ronald McDonald House. And what we do is we bring bespoke programs to these corporations and schools to help them, frankly, get through the day sometime and bring some calm and comfort to people when they need it the most. If you're like me at all, your brain is just spinning a lot. You are feeling super overloaded, and sometimes it can just be really, really tough. So the purpose of Jen and I being here and creating Here for everyone is, to help release burdens that people are feeling, and just help you feel better, help build resilience, build your self-confidence, let you know that you're not alone. And we do that through a variety of mindful activity packs that we have on our website for parents and educators. And we do themes such as, you are not alone, calm as a cloud, I need a break. There was a theme around the autumn equinox and welcoming change. And then within these packs, what you'll find are yoga stories, breathing techniques, healing mantras, and other, meditations and yoga movements as well to help integrate into those moments of the day where you need it the most. And for corporations also, we create expanded bespoke programs for them. A big part of this, of course, now is virtual sessions that we offer to people. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Jen, and she will guide you through the next bit.
Thank you, Dana. Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here and a part of this wonderful collaborative of all these female founders. Thank you for your intro, Dana, to what we do. It's been a real pleasure to be able to support people, families, and individuals, however young or old, during these recent times, and really focus our well-being support and programs and packages on the current times, week by week, month by month, everything that's going on. It's so unpredictable and crazy changing times and constant challenges that are being faced to us all the time. So it's been really nice to offer some little solutions, and it doesn't have to be anything too big and grandeur. It can be something really small, such as a breathing technique, for example. And because what we offer with these support packages and our mindful activity packs is just the ability to find moments in your day that everything's feeling a little bit too much, to be able to just track back and think, okay, what can I do that can really, I can sit with myself, connect with myself, maybe with my little one, if you're a parent. So one thing that I would like to share with you, we'd like to share is our 5-finger breathing technique, just a really simple tool that you can use in your day-to-day world. You always have your 5 fingers with you. So wherever if you're out and about, you're at home, wherever you are, you can take a few moments and just sit down with yourself, with your little one. You just get out your 5 fingers. And all you need to do is you get your index finger of one hand, place it to the outer edge of your little finger. And all you do is you can do this with your little child. So you can hold out their 5 fingers and you can get your little finger. So it's quite nice to have a little touch, a little tickle. And it just provides a sense of calm and peace as you take a breath in, you watch your finger come up your hand, and then you take a breath out and you breathe out like this. See how slowly you can slow down your breath, helping to calm the nervous system, helping to slow down our minds when everything just feels like it's a little bit too much for us and our little ones. And you just take really 5 simple breaths just like this. And then you come to the end and you can sit together and share maybe how you feel with each other. Because when this is all happening, it's important for us to remember that we're not alone, we're together with this. And we want to support our well-being alongside our child's as well. So that's a wrap from us, I think. And I will pass it on to Kelly if she is here. Kelly?
Hello, I'm so calm after that. Your voice is so soothing. I feel like I some caffeine to wake up for my slide. That was wonderful. Thank you. So thank you so much to DoSpace and the Startup Collaborative for having us. We're really excited about SwishBoom. We have launched July 5th, and since launching, we have over about 1,700 downloads of the app. And we have roughly about 300 families currently actively using the app across the country. So we are growing, and we are really excited about helping families find childcare quickly. And so a lot of these solutions that are out there right now, kind of all hover around the need for childcare, right? Because to Jess's point, there's people that are leaving the workforce because of childcare. And so one of the things that what SwishBoom does solely is it's a tool that allows families to connect with their network to get their childcare jobs claimed quickly. So who's your network? Your network is your neighbors, your friends, your sitters, and you add them onto the SwishBoom platform. And when you have a job, you post it, it goes up to your network, and they're able to catch it and claim it. And it's really that simple and really efficient. It's a great benefit for employers because it allows them to give their employees a tool, an actual tool to solve their problem. A lot of times employers are giving resource guides, or they're giving, good luck type of things, but to give an actual tool that says this will help you solve it if you use it, it is really powerful. And we're seeing quite a bit of employers signing up to offer SwishBoom to their employees. And then from a benefit for the employees, it allows them to be in control of their childcare. It allows them to remove that uncertainty from not knowing whether you're going to be able to go to work if your children's school closes quickly. Pre-COVID, when we were building SwishBoom, it really was, hey, I'm a working mom. I want to advance my career and attend these networking events, or I want to go on a date night with my husband. And it's interesting with COVID, now it's really pivoting. I need to get back to work. I need someone to watch my kids so that I can provide for my family. And so we're really excited to see SwishBoom be able to spread the uses for families. And we're excited because we're seeing jobs being claimed across the country daily. So if you have any more questions on offering SwishBoom to your employees, or you're looking to sign up, we are offering a 3-month free trial right now at www.swishboom.com.
I think it's time for Lead Academy. So I'll let you all share your slides.
First, I would like to thank DoSpace and the Startup Collaborative for having us here. I'm Eugene, co-founder of Lead Kid Academy. I'm here today with Ms. Sanjita, our Montessori early childhood educator. Lead Kid Academy is a Montessori-based online platform that makes home education easy and effective. Currently, we support parents and caregivers of children ages 3 to 6 with a plan to extend the age range to 0 to 6 in the future. 90% of a child's brain develops by age 5. The early years are critical to a child's development. However, parenting and teaching young kids is really hard, especially during the pandemic, and if you also have a full-time job. We want to make it easy for you. So we have created a free teaching toolkit with hundreds of activities covering all the Montessori curriculums. On each subject, you can find activities at different levels. In each activity, we provide detailed instructions on how to carry out the lesson and activity with your child. For some activities, we even provide free printables to assist you with preparing the educational material. Or if you choose to buy, we have some good product recommendations as well. For some activities, we include a video demonstration so you can see how a teacher would give the lesson to the child. We also have a library of videos that you can find video lessons and Montessori circle time videos. All of these are free, and all you need to do is to go to our website, leadkid.academy, to sign up for a free account. All activities are based on the Montessori curriculum. Montessori is a child-centered educational approach. It recognizes that every child develops at their own pace. And the Montessori also focuses on educating the whole child, covering all areas of development, cognitive, emotional, social, and physical. Montessori is heavily hands-on and concrete. A Montessori child, through hands-on activities, they develop their confidence, independence, self-discipline, and a lifelong love of learning. Montessori private schools are usually unaffordable for many families, but Montessori is surprisingly suitable for the whole home environment. The most fundamental learning area in the Montessori curriculum is practical life. To implement that part of curriculum, all you need to do is simply involve your child in daily life. Say cleaning or organizing the house, laundry, or preparing meals. And for a lot of Montessori activities, you can easily set them up with household items. For example, the activity shown on the top right corner that helps develop a child's motor skills. All you need are 2 bowls and some dry beans. And the second example is on the bottom right corner. That is a math activity that teaches the concept of even and odd numbers. So for that activity, I found some magnetic numbers from my child's toy box and some coins from a board game. To make it easy to bring Montessori home, in addition to all the free resources that we have created, we are also working on an affordable online platform that provides guidance on how to set up Montessori environment at home, customize lessons that best meets your child's development stage, and it allows your child to progress through lessons step by step, and also allows parents to evaluate their child's learnings and of course receive progress analysis. We want to make Montessori accessible and affordable to more families, so our program will start at less than $10 a month. So who can benefit from this program? First, of course, parents and the children. Parents who want to know where their child is developmentally and how to best support them. Second, for nannies who want a career boost and claim a higher pay. Third, for anyone with an entrepreneur's mindset who may be interested in starting in-home daycare or preschools. So if you are one of these people I just described, you can go to our website to sign up and to be the first to get notified once we launch this program. And you're also welcome to join our Facebook group that we have a group of parents, caregivers, and Montessori teachers as well. I also listed my email address here. You can contact me in the future with any questions. So finally, I would like to thank the Nebraska Department of Economic Development and the Startup Collaboratives for their support on this project. So with that, I'm gonna now open the floor for questions. Oh, and again, so Ms. Janjik, our Montessori teacher, is also on the panel. If you have any questions on Montessori or early childhood education, please submit your question. All right, thank you.
This has been incredible. Again, I want to thank TheirSpace for providing this opportunity for all of these amazing women founders who are bringing new solutions to very inherent problems that parents, employers, nannies, everyone that you can kind of think of is dealing with even before the COVID-19 pandemic. And so I wanted to make sure we can kind of take this opportunity to ask a couple questions. And so if there are any questions that people would like to drop into the chat, that would be fantastic. I've got a couple questions that I would love to ask of our founders here on the call today. And so again, I'd like to just thank everyone for participating. If you want to find out more information on these startups, make sure you visit their websites, follow them on social media, kind of going down the list of presenters and how we went through today. I just want to provide those website addresses again. So if you're interested in finding out more about JobShareConnect, which is what Jessica Charlson and Gina Picarella founded, make sure you visit JobShareConnect.com. If you're interested in learning more about TheirSpace, which is the startup founded by Kate White, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us today, but Adriana was able to speak on their behalf, make sure you visit TheirSpaceOmaha.com. If you're interested in Adriana's concept and her amazing company, Maxwell, make sure you visit Maxwell.app. If you're interested in learning more about Here, which just taking part in that exercise today. Thank you so much, Jen and Dana, for bringing that opportunity. I think right now it's so important for all of us to make sure that we're keeping our mental health and stability in check. And so if you're interested in finding out more about those activities and how you can provide some of those activities for your family and your children, make sure you visit hereforyouforthem.com. And then we've got SwishBoom, which, as we know, sometimes, especially being around our kids all day long, it's nice to have some time alone for an important meeting, or even if you need to get out of the house and just go have a meal outside by yourself or with your significant other, whatever that happens to be, make sure you leverage SwishBoom and the opportunities that they bring for families. And so you can visit their website at swishboom.com, and you can also download their app. Again, they're providing 3 free months for people who sign up right now. So it's a great opportunity to tap into that. And so those are kind of the URLs and the websites for all of our founders, except, Lead Kid Academy, lest we forget. Lead Kid Academy is, again, one of those fantastic solutions that's bringing more opportunities for families to be a little bit closer to the education that they're providing for their families. So when you're, sending your kids off to school, or if you're doing remote learning, it's great to see some of those insights, but to have those really key opportunities to be a part of those activities and take part in the Montessori learning that Lead Kid Academy provides is super important as well. So make sure you visit their website to find out more about how you can access those activities and take part in your child's education. So with that being said, I wanted to kind of start to have some conversation about not only how all of you identified your problem, but what it was like to initiate those first steps into saying, okay, this is a problem that I deal with. Now I want to make sure that if I'm going to solve this problem, how am I going to do that in an efficient way? And so, Adriana, I'd like to hear a little bit about you and Maxwell, because you had such a robust plan moving forward with Maxwell, and you had a lot of great key insights from who you thought your early customers were going to be. So tell us a little bit about how you identified that problem, and then how you took the first couple steps toward building Maxwell.
Sure, thanks, Cameron. Yeah, it was, tell it as a little story. I was leading some inclusion and diversity efforts for a large employer in town. And I went to Gallup's headquarters to listen to some research and recommendations that they had around women leaving the workplace. And I left pretty depressed because really the findings were nothing new. It was the same problem that was already there, which was that balancing work and life was really hard, in particular for women. And unfortunately, the solutions that were available were also the same that were already available before. So I left sad because I was hoping in my role to further diversify the upper levels of the organization, which was the problem that all other organizations were having too. But I could relate to it too, because I also live the same problem. I have a spouse that is very involved, but also has a very time-consuming career, and I felt spread thinly. So I also had considered at many points in my career leaving the workplace. I had said, ugh, is this worth it? Like, we're always just like feeling incredibly stressed. So that's when I thought, there's gotta be a better way. Certainly employers should be able to do something beyond just offering flexibility, beyond just letting people take a step back or reduce their hours. And that's when the light bulb went on. That's what I want to do. I want to tackle this problem. So initially when I left, I was hyper-focused on high performers and how do you keep all high performers, but especially women, in the workplace. That was my goal. How do you help that niche of people? And then that was March 2020. I was still kind of on that route. I was having conversations with employers that saw it too. They value diversity. They saw that the playing field at work was uneven and that we needed a solution. And literally I was having conversations that week when things were starting to close and the pandemic was upon us. So there for a little bit, it was clamping down wallets from employers and everyone just trying to figure out what is going on. So I thought, are we really gonna launch in March or not? And then really what ended up happening since then is that smart employers, the employers that get it, the ones that understand their talent is the most important resource. They understand that supporting employees has a direct relation to their bottom line. And really what they moved into after the shock of the pandemic is figuring out ways to support them. Because a lot of the supports that they had in place before also were created when people were in the office. I mean, they were not created for remote work and they were not created for people having children at home. And so that's what kind of morphed a little bit of Maxwell and turned it into being more of a tool, really, again, not just for your high performers, but really how do you create a solution that can hit all the way from the C-suite to the front lines and can cover the needs from all aspects that different people have under a single platform. So it's accelerated some of the partnerships that we talked about a while back. I know, for example, Kelly and I in the fall of last year, we said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could collaborate on this? And then the pandemic hit and it was just like, you know what, we're gonna do it now. So good things have come from the pandemic too. Perhaps a lot of bad ones too, but these are the few ones that I'm like, you know, it's forcing us to change and hopefully to change for the better. So I'll stop at that.
I think that's fantastic. And like you were saying, you know, the pandemic it's brought up so many unfortunate things about our society and how so many of these industries work and these machines, how broken they were. But there is an upside to that. People are noticing that there are gaps. There are these opportunities for new solutions to be brought to the table. And especially for the work model, this is now that time for those drastic changes to be made. And again, you know, no one is really going to be better at bringing those changes than Jessica and Gina. And Jess, you brought one of those really strong statistics to your presentation. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it was 1.1 million people had to leave their jobs to take over kind of their parenting or their family responsibilities. And 80% of those 1.1 million were women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty depressing and scary when you look at, you know, all of the efforts and progress that people have been focused on trying to make to keep women and to, you know, get more women in the workforce and in leadership positions, which very similarly to Adriana, we saw the exact same thing. It was like the solutions that were on the table for keeping people in the workforce weren't working. And a lot of people who had opted out. And so we had originally started as a recruitment tool to get people back into the workforce and maximize the talent in the workforce. And now it's really a retention strategy. So it's looking at your talent that is facing burnout, or looking at like trying to figure out like, you know, a lot of people we've talked to have said, I've now seen what it's like to eat dinner with my family every night. I've seen what it's like to not rush out the door at 7 in the morning. And I want that to continue. And so as people return to work, I mean, we clearly need to get through this winter and spring, but hopefully at some point life will begin to normalize again. And I think that the level and the type of talent that will continue to raise their hand and say, I want it different, but I love my career and I don't want to have to walk away from that. And I don't feel like the decisions, and, you know, not just for moms, but for parents, for people who are retiring, for people who want to start their own business, like there needs to be better solutions that don't make you choose one or the other, or to totally scale back your job, you know, title to fit a part-time position. And so what a job share really does is it allows you to continue on your career track. And then by matching in a really smart and thoughtful way, it can actually make you a lot broader and a lot deeper by building with complementary skills so that you're able to actually get further faster. So we're really optimistic about the future of work because it has been kind of pushed ahead probably, you know, up to a decade or more of where people are now comfortable and have been forced to move forward. But it will be those progressive companies, like Adriana said, who really start to make those moves for the talent, for the well-being of the talent, their talent, to make sure that because it is the people who are a lot of times those top performers are the people who are really passionate about their careers that feel torn because they love to go all in on whatever they do, which all in shouldn't have to be a choice between your work and your life outside of work.
Absolutely. And I think what you're touching upon right there is, you know, building this robust network of people that you can rely on and to provide those resources. I mean, that's really this group that we have together today. It's kind of touching upon all of those different facets of what a working individual is dealing with or what a parent is dealing with. You know, it's how do I find that help in whatever aspect happens to be a problem area for me. And I think being able to identify those problem areas is really important, because then that allows us to name it and then start to work towards the solutions. And luckily, everyone on this call right here has already built what those solutions are. And so it's great to have these really fantastic brains on this call all together, because you're bringing something that will help radically change not only Omaha, but the Midwest, and hopefully our nation, and who knows, potentially the globe. So kind of speaking about how we identify these problems and being able to make sure that our mental health is kept in check, I wanted to talk to you, Dana and Jen, specifically around here. And this is something that you've been providing these activities for families and for children for some time now. And like you said, you're doing it in both the UK as well as here in the States. So I'd like to hear a little bit about the impact that you've seen for families that are opting into using Here For You for them, and what it's been like to say, when we have those tough issues with our children, or when we need to take that mental step back, we can easily just access here. So what's it been like for your customer base?
Thank you, Cameron. Yeah, it's so important because I think, you know, most people, when you're going through stressful times, even before the pandemic, but especially now, we have this tendency and this default, you know, way of like, I'm okay, this is fine, I'm fine, I can get through this. And you just kind of go about your day while inside you're like boiling and stressed out. And your head is, you know, just can really, really mess with you also with negative self-talk. Particularly as a parent, you know, you can feel overwhelmed with, am I giving him the best life? Am I teaching him the right things, or her? You know, did I just totally fail today with what I was trying to teach my child? And so all of this just really, really, really builds up. And then that's where Jen and I come in, and how we started this, in fact, is because Jen was helping us out in London when we were there. She was our nanny, but she also has her Master of Science in Behavioral Development. And so Jen would start giving me these mindful tips with helping Axel. And, he was 2.5 at the time, so those terrific 2s. And all the little activities that she would give, they resonated with him, and he loved them. And they were simple. It was like, take a moment to do a tree pose and breathe, the 5-finger breath. Even just today, Axel, when we were doing our schoolwork this morning, he was starting to get a little stressed out. So he's like, I need to stop and do my 5-finger breath. So it's like, that's awesome. So these start getting integrated into your lifetime to help give your brain a break. But then with that, on the parental side, it's about giving yourself a break too. And so Jen would have all these tips around, give yourself a timeout, do a 5-minute meditation. And then we just started building a library around that. And then in-person events over in London, because we were there at the time, and then have pivoted obviously to all online right now, both over here and there. And the feedback, we've had people cry in classes just because of the release of emotions. Always getting thank yous and gratitude for these simple techniques that can help, release overloaded brains, because there is so much going on. We're getting a lot, since we're so heavily online again, we get a lot of social media feedback and messages on like, this is amazing, thank you, I'm sharing this with everyone. And so it's been really rewarding and gratifying for us to keep growing and expanding to meet people's needs. And I think Jen probably has a few words on that too, because she and our team members are actually leading these sessions and classes with people too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, as I mentioned beforehand, it's just been so amazing to continue our support during this time. And having these online sessions, whether they're on Facebook or Zoom, doing meditations, whether people want to sit there with their screen off and just have their moment on their own, or they want to share it more visually, like we are today. It's just really nice to be able to offer that sort of, you can just check in every week with us and just sit down for 20 minutes or do our weekly family yoga session online together. And they can, there's like providing that community feeling that, again, like Dana mentioned, we create these packs around, what's happening and people feeling alone and loss of community and feeling like they just can't really deal with the next moment, let alone the next day or week. So yeah, really, really nice to have that support and always seeing this familiar faces popping up. So yeah, it's really, really valuable. Also because, it's just been, whether it's here in the UK or on your side of the pond, it's just so nice to be able to share this sense of community in this sense, in a wider form as well. So yeah, we've been really, really thankful for that. And we know that the people receiving the support are also, feeling the same. So yeah, thankful.
That's fantastic. And you bring up this idea, kind of peace of mind and building community, and speaking kind of onto SwishBoom and what Kelly and her co-founder have built out. I remember when COVID-19 first started to really come up, they were kind of on that forefront of, if we are building these connections, for families and scheduling sitters and making sure that families are getting that time for themselves or for their children to meet with their sitter, who can be a very significant part of their life, how do we make sure that we provide people the peace of mind and the safety that COVID-19 won't be something that will get in the way of this? In fact, we're going to put those pieces into place to bring security and that peace of mind and the sense of control for these families. So Kelly, I'd love to hear a little bit about the process on how you and the team behind SwishBoom, how you've been able to pivot in these really crazy times during COVID-19.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Cameron. COVID-19 obviously is a curveball for everyone, not only the person who's developing a babysitting app, But it's one of the first things that we did, obviously, when COVID-19 happened was, I mean, Richard and I are both parents. And so that our families and our family safety is most important. So we developed the app kind of with that lens, and we were strategic in that lens of, would we want someone coming into our house? And if someone had to come into our house, what would we feel most comfortable with? So right now on the SwishBoom platform, when you book a job, you have a quick COVID-19 questionnaire that you fill out and the family fills out. And no response on that questionnaire will stop someone from getting to claim a job or book a job, but it allows transparency between the parent and the sitter. So when you're matched and your job is claimed, both the family and the sitter can review the responses from it. So it puts the control back into the family and saying, okay, you know, here are their responses. Now, do you want to pass on the sitter or do you want to proceed with them? And so that's one of the things that we kind of changed with COVID, obviously, to make sure that we were being safe and being thoughtful about all things that are going on. Obviously, so I'm sure many people to a varying degree, for us, COVID has decrease the demand of jobs that are posted. We see an increase of people that are signing up, almost kind of preparing for their backup plan, getting ready. But people are not, especially in the Nebraska area, are not going out and using it because, you know, there's really no reason for it. We're cautioned against doing that. And so it's a tricky line, right? As a founder, we want our business to be successful, but we also, when our business requires people doing things that have strangers coming into their home or them going out, you have to really manage that. And so that's, for us, it's always been kind of the high road is, you know, go out when you're ready, when you're comfortable, but know that we're going to be here for you when you are ready. And for a lot of people, it's not even a matter of going out for date nights. It's a matter of going to work. We have a huge amount of the Nebraska medicine doctors that use SwishBoom and they block out their week. Well, they have to go to work. They can't do it on a computer. And so we're super thrilled to be there for them. And we're ready to be there for people when COVID is and people feel comfortable to go out.
And one of the things that I love about SwishBoom is you're also encouraging kind of everyone to be an entrepreneur. So those sitters, they get that opportunity to say, you know, book your time with me, make sure that you can schedule this out because I'm, you know, trained in these things. I provide educational opportunities for your children. When you are entrusting me with your kids, you'll have that peace of mind again and that knowledge that I'll be providing, you know, these opportunities for your children to learn and to grow from a societal standpoint. And so I think what SwishBoom does is so great because it allows everyone to elevate their game and also to provide them kind of that bit of reprieve for when they need to do an hour-long Zoom meeting or whatever it happens to be. That's where SwishBoom comes in. And so, again, I wanted to commend you on how you've been able to pivot during the COVID-19 times. It's been tough, but it's also been incredibly encouraging to see how you and everyone on this call has been able to listen to their customers, adapt ahead of the schedule, and to foresee where the market is shifting so that you can easily say, we're going to provide a solution to this new or unforeseen problem, and we're going to do it in a world-class way. And so I think that's something that everyone on this call does incredibly well, including Lead Kid Academy with Yuji and Singjuta. I want to talk to you a little bit. We've got about 10 minutes left, so I'd love to hear a little bit about, now that so many parents are directly involved in their children's education, have you heard from your customers, or what's the feedback been like from people who are saying that they're finding a lot of enjoyment from being able to help and be on that educational journey with their children? Or if it's been tough for them, how have they said, we need additional resources that Lead Kid Academy actually provides? What's it been like talking to parents who are now helping educate their children?
Okay, I can first talk a little bit about my own experience because I'm a mom myself with a 4.5-year-old child. So with Lead Kid Academy, that's the curriculum that we mostly created all the contents and the curriculum that I feel very confident when I have my child at home. So right now, our daily routine is to pretty much follow up in the routine in the Montessori schools. Every morning when she gets ready, and I do a morning circle time with her, and like doing the calendar, weather, and then that starts her work time. So in Montessori, the child play we also call work. And then sometimes I give her a new lesson that based on the instruction that Shanjikta has provided. So I know exactly how to present the lesson to my child. I gave her a lesson, and then after that, she has her own choice. She can choose whatever work that she would like to work on. And we have a work shelf, like a low work shelf, child size work shelf, a typical in a Montessori classroom, which we can adapt in at home too. So I display different materials that suit her age and her ability. Then she pick up her work, and then she do it on her own. And then sometimes I sit by her and work on my own laptop. Sometimes she may want me to send out of her classroom. So that gives me a lot of time to focus on my own work too. So Montessori, it benefits both the child as well as the parents. And I know Shanjikta also has a sister who also has little ones. Then you can also share some of her experience.
Yes. Firstly, I would say my main thing is Montessori should be followed at each and every home. It is very simple and it's very open for a child to go to and have their own thought process and understand and do work. So I really like when it goes to every household, and I have seen first experience when we are doing through LitKid with my sister. She is working from home due to this pandemic with a 3.5-year-old, and she was obviously from March, the child is at home, and it's really hard to accommodate her own work with the child staying home. And with all our curriculum which we provided and the videos and the worksheets, everything, it's really helpful for her. Her child is doing great sitting by her and just doing her own work independently. So it's just in the morning she has to like prep the things which is already provided. So first-hand experience I can see with her, and as each told, she's also doing it. And I think providing the whole curriculum and giving them the lessons really helps the parents to do it at home.
Oh, that's incredible. And again, we're seeing that there are all these different options for anyone and everyone, no matter where they happen to be on their life journey, whether that's professionally or personally, if they're a working parent, an educator. There's so many different roles that we're having to play, especially in this year. And so we want to make sure that when you are experiencing those issues and you're saying, I just need some help, I need to figure out what other resources are out there, make sure you're visiting these startups, these companies that we talked to today. You can visit their websites, follow them on social media. Most of their names are just what their companies' names are. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at the Startup Collaborative. My email address is just Cameron@startupcollaborative.co. And if you see yourself as saying, I think I've got a problem myself, and I'm really inspired by these women who are on this call, and I think I'd like to build something that integrates tech to solve a specific problem, no matter what that happens to be, whatever industry it happens to be, as long as you're looking at solving a problem and you're keen on listening to your customers, we would love to help you build what that solution could be at the Startup Collaborative. And you can visit our website at thestartupcollaborative.com and apply to join our program completely for free. But again, I wanted to thank DoSpace, number one, for putting on these opportunities to provide education and insights for everyone in our community. And again, thank you to all of the founders who are on this call. You are all amazing. I'm so incredibly proud of what you're building and what you're working toward every day. And it looks like we're finishing with about 5 minutes left. So we're graciously giving everyone about 5 minutes left in their day to hopefully not be on another Zoom call. Let's make sure we take some screen time away, take off our blue light glasses, and when you've got some of those problems that are creeping up and you need some extra help, make sure you leverage the companies that we talked to today. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you again so much, and we are excited to join everyone for our next webinar with DoSpace. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Just a reminder, this will be available on YouTube later next week, I think, at this point. But I can send out links if anybody's interested.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.